Hi guys, welcome back to Geography World. For this video, we're going to be looking at question number 6 on the CSEC 2015 paper 2. Stay tuned.
I see the comments and requests and I will act on them. Please remember to follow Geography World channel on Instagram and Facebook using the link shown on the screen. Please remember to like, share with your friends and subscribe. For person wishing to contact me privately, you may email me at geographyworld100@gmail.com. The link will be posted below.
Number 6 shows us a table that basically shows the contribution of sectors to GDP in Grenada, and that was in the year 2005. We are to use the information or data given in the table to basically construct a pie chart. Now, how you will go about working out how to divide this in the three sectors of the pie chart is, remember that a pie chart is a complete circle. So let's start with primary. So it would be 20 over 100, which is a percentage, and then you multiply that by 360. Once you did that, you'll realize that you'll get 72 for your answer. So 72 degrees from that pie chart should be dedicated to the primary sector. You do the same, 24 over 100 times 360 for secondary. You'll realize that your answer is going to be 86.4. So you can just round it off to 86. So you know that 86 degrees of that pie chart is going to be secondary, which means that the remainder is going to be services, and the remainder is going to be 201.6. You just round it off to 202. This is how your pie chart should look. Part B to the question asks that you describe 4 benefits of either. Now, 4 benefits of either the garment industry or the food processing industry. Now, the benefits for both are similar. You can find similarity between both. For example, their source of foreign exchange, meaning both the garment industry and the food processing industry, once the materials are produced, the final products are produced, they are sold on the international market, where they basically produce foreign exchange for the country. They are exported to other markets. Alright. Next, they use local raw materials. Now, depending on which garment industry as well as which food processing industry, you realize that most will use local raw material to basically construct their end products, while some may use products from overseas. But most of these industries, they use local materials. They create employment, especially for skilled and unskilled laborers within the Caribbean, so they're a source of employment. They use import substitutes, and they are linked to other industries. Linked to other industries in the sense with food processing. Let's say we are using milk. Once the milk is produced, it is used in other industries to create other final products. The same goes with the garment industry. Once you're able to describe just any 4, then 8 marks should be yours. Part 2 asks that you select either garment manufacturing or food processing, and you compare 2 characteristics of the activity in the named Caribbean countries with that of either Hong Kong or Singapore. Let us begin with food processing. Food processing in the Caribbean and Hong Kong. Good. Now, food processing. Let's talk about the type of processing. So both they process locally produced foods and they import products, while Hong Kong mainly process imported products. So in the Caribbean, most of the goods that are produced are locally produced. So the primary industry supplies the food processing industry in the Caribbean, while in Hong Kong they mostly import. Some of the products produced in the Caribbean are like sugar, rum, fruits, nuts, coffee, cocoa, dairy, meat, fish, sweets, juice, and seasoning. While in Hong Kong, they do like fishes, sauce, ducks, festival cakes, noodles, pastas, and they also do seasoning. Now, as it relates to location, for example, food processing in the Caribbean, they usually produce in areas that are closer to the coastal ports, due to the hilly interior of the Caribbean islands, while in Hong Kong they are close to port facilities because they do a lot of importing and exporting, so they are located close to the ports as well. In the Caribbean, labor is usually local, and in Hong Kong it is also local, and labor is usually relatively cheap. Their market, the Caribbean's main market is basically the US, while Hong Kong, their main market is usually China. Let's talk about the garment industry in Puerto Rico, and then we're going to look at the garment industry in Singapore. Now, they produce in Puerto Rico, they produce clothes and other items such as hats. They use locally made raw materials, while Singapore they import their raw materials. The Caribbean they have numerous small industry units operating in like workers' home, and most of the factories in Singapore they're located close to the ports, and in the Caribbean you have a few that are located close to the coast, but most is located closer to towns. In the Caribbean, their main market is like the US, while Singapore they ship all over the world. Remember now you can only select one, either the garment or the food processing industry, and you focus on the Caribbean and you select either Hong Kong or Singapore depending on which one of the industries you selected, and you can narrow down the Caribbean country to one. Part C asks that we explain two challenges facing tourism in the Caribbean. Now, in the Caribbean, the tourism industry is facing a lot of challenges, including global recession, competition from cheaper destinations, seasonality of tourism, rising fuel prices, impacts of natural disasters, and social issues. Social issues are usually linked to the tourism industry. For example, a lot of tourists, when they come to the Caribbean, they are victims of social issues such as robberies, murders, theft, substance abuse, because of the influence that the tourism industry has on some of the locals. Natural disaster is damaging a lot of the natural features that tourists usually enjoy when they come to the Caribbean. So this plays another significant role in the challenges that the tourism industry faces. Rising fuel prices. The fact that the fuel prices is consistently rising, what this does, it makes it more expensive for the Caribbean to accommodate tourists. Remember that almost everything that is used, it is some way connected to electricity. Remember the Caribbean is very, very warm, and they need AC, they need a lot of things to make sure that the tourists they are well taken care of once they get here. So what this does is that increases the fuel price, which means that they will have to increase the price for tourism to host tourists here. And once the prices go up, that would pose a major challenge for tourists to come here. tourism in the Caribbean is seasonal, meaning tourists, you will only realize that we have a lot of tourists during the summer period and during the Christmas period when they're experiencing winter in other countries. The fact that tourism is seasonality during the off period, you realize that a lot of workers are laid off due to the fact that there is not a lot of tourists in the Caribbean. That's a challenge that the tourism industry is facing. And what you realize is that there are a lot of cheaper destinations worldwide that tourists are now preferring to go. So a lot of persons are opting to go to cheaper locations. Hence, the fact that there are cheaper locations, it means that the Caribbean is consistently having to cut back on prices. With the rising fuel price, it means that the tourism industry is slowly declining. Right? You have global recession. Everywhere that we go, you realize that recession is taking place. We have inflation taking place everywhere, and what you're going to realize is that the more inflation takes place and recession takes place, the more expensive it's going to be for somebody to take a vacation, especially to the Caribbean. So what you're going to realize is that the tourism industry is going to consistently be challenged by these issues. Once you are able to answer these questions, 24 marks should be yours.
We are at the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your post notification bell in order to receive more videos like these. Leave comments below suggesting topics that you would want me to present on. In the comment section below, comment the name of your school and the territory for a shout out in my next video. Until then, bye.